Alright, so greetings. So this is the video that you requested for, that will show how to the flow for the election. So I'm using the Figma design, so I might not have some things that were implemented in the front end. So let's start with the sign into dashboard. So on the normal platform, when we click sign into dashboard, when we click on sign in, we see sign into dashboard and sign into voting page, right? So when we go to sign into dashboard, the next page that will appear is this, right? So we would have the user would enter their information, right, and sign up or sign up with Google, right? And then when their email is confirmed, they follow all that flow, then they can now log in, right? And can log in or log in with Google authentication. All right, so that is about that sign up. So when they log in, they would now come to their dashboard. So this is the dashboard. So that first flow, this is where it comes to the dashboard. So let me explain the second flow and come back to this. So the second flow is we come in here, sign in, and you can sign into voters page. So when you sign into voters page, when you click sign into voters page, it comes here, right? So this is the voters page. So on the voters page now, this we can enter the election ID here, and the election ID is tied to each election to help people be able to locate the particular election that they have their details registered for, right? Because there can be multiple elections going on the platform, and even if the elections will be on a specific domain, like maybe if it's MPA election, mpa.voter.ng, if someone that was registered for a different election tries to use their login details for mpa.voter.ng election, it won't go through. So the election ID, if they're not using their URL that's meant for the election, right, they can access that election by entering the election ID, and this election ID will be automatically generated when the maybe electoral committee person creates the election, right? So when we enter the election ID, the next thing will come here is we enter the access code page. So now we've entered the election ID, and the next place is we've identified the election with the election ID, and this is the election, right? So as at this point, when we come here, the URL for the website would already have changed to the specific URL for this election, which for this one will be say napsa.voter.ng, right? Because we've used that election ID to get to the particular election, and now the election, we've seen the election on that URL. So two ways to get to the same place, right? One, you can go to the flow, sign in through voting page, put in the election ID, and then you come here, or you can just type in the special URL for the election and you would see it, right? So here now, the voter can input the access code, and the access code will be tied to them. So with the access code now, they can access their secret ballot, right? So when they enter the access code and identifies, okay, this access code is right, they now come to the voting page, of which this is the voting page. So this is their secret ballot. So now they are saying, oh, these are the people for chairman. Okay, I want to vote this guy. Then okay, this guy is single, I want to vote this guy. Then maybe in this category, I don't know any of these people, so I want to abstain, right? And then they submit their votes. All right, so that is that flow. So let's go back to the dashboard. So when we use the first sign in or sign into dashboard, we come to the dashboard. This is where we can create an election, right? So this is a dashboard overview, right? So the next thing now is create an election. So let's go to the page that shows creating an election. So this is the page. So now there are 3 elections: free voter, voter pro, and meeting, and voter meeting. So let's say we want to create a free voter election. So when I click let's go, right, it comes here. So this is free voter. So we can either switch between any of them. We can switch to free voter or voter pro. And free voter, the main difference between free voter and voter pro is that in free voter we can have people vote, we can have one user vote multiple times, right? Or we can have users can just vote with any email, just like Google Forms. If you, maybe if there's a voting, if you vote with your first email, you can vote with another email, right? So typically free voter elections would be, we won't need to register voters per se. So anybody that just has the link, when you go in to vote with free voter, you just need to maybe sign in or use Google authentication, right? And then or you just need to maybe create an account and then log in to be able to vote. Or easier, just use Google authentication and you have your session to vote. So that person can use that email, he can use the second email, the third email, right? But the voter pro would have to register every voter that will participate in an election, and each voter can only vote once, right? And you can't buy votes. You cannot buy multiple votes with voter pro. But with free voter, you can buy multiple votes. They can set, okay, one vote is 10 naira. So if you want to buy 100 votes, 100 votes is 10 naira times 100. That's 1,000 or so, whatever that number is. So that's that. So this is entering the details of the election. That's the election name, other details, the logos, the colors, all that. Then a maximum number of candidates that can be selected for position, because there can be an election that they might want to have multiple people. They might want to be able to select multiple people per position, right? So then this number of free votes, right? So for this now, automatically for voter pro, it is 1, right? And then for free voter, it can be whatever you want. So you can just increase the numbers for free voter, whatever you want users to have. Then when you, for free voter also, when you click on this checkbox to monetize the election, you can set the price per vote, right? So that's that on this. Then the ballot. So you see now, when you've created the election, automatically they have an election ID, they have a link to election, and you can preview the ballot. But just an extra information, this election ID and election link will not be active, right? It won't be active till the user has paid for this election. So they will just see it here, right? But they cannot get to use it till they pay. So name of position, choose to show picture or not to show picture on the ballot, allow abstain, because abstain, like what I said, a voter might not want to vote in a particular category, right? And this is the candidate's name, the nickname, and more details. Or it could be, the could enter text of more details. It could be a PDF, could be a video, right? And it could be left bare also. So this add candidates, right, in this position, or add position. So if this first position was president, next position will be vice president, and there can be 3, 4, or 1 candidate per election. And different number of positions. So the next one is the voters page. So this voters page now, they will upload the information of the voters in an Excel sheet, right? They will upload it in an Excel sheet, or they can manually enter the information of the voters. That okay, the voters name, the voters subgroup, the voters phone number, the voters email, right? So they can manually enter it, but all the information that will be here will be the information of the voters, right? And it will be a fixed number, so it could be any number, whatever they upload. So this now is to send the election notification to them. So it could be via email or via SMS or both, and we were trying to consider via WhatsApp. So we'll still be expecting that update for sending it via WhatsApp. So whatever information they want to send here, they can add it, but by default there will be a default message that would go in with the email, and that is a default message on the voters access code. That's automatically the election ID, automatically the link to this particular election, the election ID and the voters access code will be attached to this email, and some other text. We will get to have more information on that later, but the committee people might want to maybe add some extra information that they want. So when they add those information, they click on send, right, and they can send it to the individual voters. So note, the electoral committee people, they cannot see the access code for the voters, right? Nobody can see the access code for the voters. All that will happen is we know the voters will send it to, and when we send it to them, automatically they will get their access code sent to them, and only them have access to what their access code is, right? So that's that. Then this is the election page, the review election page, right? And in this, as at here, we can preview the ballot paper. So we can preview what we've done so far, how it looks, and maybe come back to this. So when we click on preview ballot, this is where it comes to, so we can see how the pictures and the names are while setting the election. So at this point, note the election ID and election link will not be live yet, or will not be activated yet till they pay, right? So that's all about that, right? And yeah, I think that's all for the election flow. So I hope this has given us more understanding on how the flow will be. So in case there's anything you want me to expound on, tell me so I can do another video and explain further on that aspect. All right, cheers.